Hello Legacy Mathematicians, Marsh here. So today we're going to look at the third way to factor. This is factoring using your AC method. You're going to want notes, calculator, definitely today a calculator, and then pen or pencil as well. So here are the steps we're going to take to solve using AC method. Now, AC method is used when you have a trinomial. That means you have three terms. So if you want to make a little note somewhere maybe, trinomial factoring, you might hear this called that as well, because it has three terms. First of all, you're going to want to identify the A, B, and C in the polynomial. And I'll talk about what A, B, and C are. Then we're going to multiply A and C together. We're going to get a number. And you're going to want to find all the factors of that number. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add those factors together to see which one of them will give us our B term. Once we do that, we're going to replace that B term with the two terms we found. Then it becomes what we did before, the factor by grouping with the box. So let's try a couple of examples, because I know these steps, they're wonderful in idea, but they're kind of hard to remember and kind of understand what we're doing. So, factoring using AC method. Very first thing, you're going to want to identify who's A, who's B, and who is C. Here's what they are. A is the number or the coefficient that's in front of the x squared. The B is the number that's in front of just x, and C is the one that does not have an x in front of it. So, notice guys, there is nothing in front of my x squared, so we're going to assume that's a 1. So my A would be 1, my B will be 8, and my C is 12. Okay? So now I've identified my A, B, and C. Now what we're going to do is multiply A and C together. So 1 times 12, that is 12, right? So now over here, I'm going to list all the factors of 12. So 1 and 12, right? 2 and 6, and 3 and 4, right? But now, guys, be very careful. Those aren't the only things that multiply to give us 12. Also, I can use -1 and -12. -2 and -6. Because those multiply give me a positive, right? So you're going to want to be careful with that. Make sure you don't forget about those negatives, because I find that some people do. So now, if I add these together, we need to find which of these two numbers, when I add them together, will give me my B, which is 8. So if I do 1 plus 12, I get 13. 2 plus 6 is 8. Hey, I don't even need to go any farther. I found my B term, 8. There we go. So what I'm now going to do is rewrite my middle term with the 2 and the 6. So it's going to look something like this. 1x squared plus 2x plus 6x plus 12. Notice, guys, this together adds to get me my B. What I'm doing is I'm expanding this. I'm basically showing what would have happened if I would have multiplied, because ultimately it's going to factor into two binomials like you had been multiplying before. What this allows us to now do is group it. Factor by grouping. So we can put it inside the box. Okay, let's go ahead and draw ourselves a box. Boop, boop. Got 1x squared, 2x, 6x, and 12. Notice, guys, this is the only thing that's changing from our original, is that middle term. Because there's only 3 things here, I can't fit 3 things because I have 4 squares. So I need to expand that middle term into 2 terms. Okay? Now let's find our greatest common factors. So it looks like x is the greatest common factor for that. X this way, and x times x does give me x squared. X looks like we got a 6 here, right? Because 6 times x is 6x. And then 6 times something needs to give me 12, which is 2, right? So my two answers, my two binomials that would have multiplied to get me this final answer, the problem we started with, would be x plus 6 and x plus 2. That's my answer for factoring. Let's try it again. So I got 24 for my, let's first identify. A is 1, B is 11, and C is 24. So if I multiply, it looks like I'm getting 24. So let's list the numbers that make 24. 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, right? And then we have all of the negative versions as well. So don't forget about that. Those two can multiply, can get you to 24 as well. I need to get 11. So this is 25 if I add. This is 14 if I add. 3 plus 8, that gets me 11. So it looks like 3 and 8 are my two numbers that make 11 when I add, but multiply to get me 24. So it looks like, let's expand that middle term. So it looks like 3r and 8r, because remember, 3r's plus 8r's is 11r's. Okay? Now we can box method. So I got r squared, 3r, 8r, and 24. Looks like we got an r for greatest common factor. And then r times r needs to give me r squared. Looks like 8 for those two. And then 8 times something needs to give me 24, which is 3. And 3 times r is 3r. Done. So I got r plus 3, r plus 8 for a final answer. Alright, let's try another one here. So I got x squared minus 11x plus 24. So let's identify our A, B, and C. A, B, C. A is 1 again. B is negative 11. Notice there's a negative, guys. Be careful with that. And then C is 24. So if I multiply here, it looks like I'm looking for 24 again. So we got 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, and I got all the negative ones as well, right? Just like what we did before. Alright, so 25, that's 14 if I add 11. That's positive 11. I need negative 11. 4 plus 6, that's 10. Now to the negatives. Negative 1 plus a negative 24 is negative 25. Negative 14 there. And then there's my negative 11. Negative 3 and negative 8. Finally found it. So let's go ahead and I'm going to circle that so don't forget about it. Let's rewrite here. 1x squared minus 3x minus 8x plus 24. Let's go ahead and box here. 1x squared, negative 3x, negative 8x, and a positive 24. It looks like x is a common term. Then x times x needs to give me x squared. Looks like 8. And 8 times x, though, would just be 8x. So I think I need a negative there, because negative 8 times x would be negative 8x, right? And then negative 8 times something needs to give me 24. So 24 divided by negative 8, that's negative 3. Negative 3 times x, that's negative 3x, right? So my answer would be x minus 3, x minus 8. Got that one done. Alright, then final answer here, we got x squared plus 2x minus 15. Let's go ahead and do this one as well. So I got my A is 1, my B is 2, and my C is negative 15. So if I multiply, it looks like I get negative 15 for my A times C. So let's list all the numbers of negative 15. But now, guys, it's not just 1 and 15, right? Because that would be a positive. Negative, one of them has to be negative. One of them has to be positive. So I need to make sure I check for both possibilities. Negative 1 times 15 and 1 times negative 15. Okay? And then I got 3 and negative 5, and then we'll flip-flop it. 3 and 5. I think that's it. Negative 1 plus 15, that is 14. 1 plus a negative 15, that's negative 14. 3 minus 5, that's negative 2. And negative 3 plus 5, that is a positive 2. Hey, these got to be my two numbers, right? Because that's add together give me 2. So let's go ahead and rewrite x plus, whoops, I forgot the minus sign. Almost wrote a plus. That's 3x plus 5x minus 15. There we go. Expanded my middle term because negative 3x plus 5x is 2x. Let's go ahead and put my new polynomial, 4-termed polynomial, into the box. Okay, looks like we got x going this way. Just an x going that way, because x times x is x squared. Just a 5, right? Because 5x, 5 times x is 5x. And then it looks like we got negative 3 this way, right? Because 5 times negative 3 is negative 15 ultimately. So I found my binomials. When I multiply, I should get back to there. You can definitely double check it. It will, in fact, work. And that's the end of this video. See you later, Sabers.